Thank you guys for attending my talk. My name is Larry Sawyer. We'll be speaking about Xen hosting, running servers in production. Bear with me, I've never done anything like this before, so but I think we're going to work it out. So anyway, moving forward here. I am the owner of Sawyer Networks, located in Hillsboro, Oregon. I wear many hats. I am the integrator. I am the guy that does the research and development. I do the sales and marketing, and I pretty much do everything in the company. I've been in the IT business for about 24 years. I actually started as an administrator for SCO Unix back in the 90s, but moving forward, most of my experience has been in the Windows world, because that's where most of the demand was. So that's just a little bit about me. Move on forward here. So Sawyer Networks has been using the Xen technology for about 5 years. It really started that, back in 2015, I was hosting cloud servers using Hyper-V, and had security issues, and basically ransomware got in and started destroying my VMs, and lost many customers during that situation. And I wasn't able to restore systems fast enough, and had no, or failover was horrible. So basically I had a quest to find a better disaster recovery failover system. And I looked at many different options. I looked at OpenStack, Proxmox, and so on. But as I was doing some research, I found HA Lizard was one of the articles I was reading. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Take 2 servers, and you're going to replicate the storage. And so that was pretty cool. And looked into more of that, and basically that was all built on the XenServer. And so I started using XenServer and deploying out some of my systems on the XenServer, mostly because it had the capability of the snapshots that you could use in production. Hyper-V does have the snapshots, but it's not recommended in production, and kind of flaky if you ask me. And I found that XenServer was much more efficient and delivered a lot higher performance than Hyper-V. And also I wanted a better way to share server resources, and XenServer really seemed to fit the bill on that. So this is how Sawyer Networks utilizes the Xen technology. We provide Windows Desktop Cloud Hosting Services, which basically is a RDP, remote desktop connection, through a RDS gateway, which provides a secure connection to our RDS servers. And then also we provide remote apps, so people could just pull a single app. That's also an RDS function, so people just want QuickBooks, they can run QuickBooks, directly as if it was installed on their own system. We also have web hosting services. We do virtual environment management. Within our system, of course, and virtual machine backups. It's great for that, fantastic for that. Virtual machine disaster recovery, which is phenomenal. I haven't seen anything like that before. I ran across this. In fact, it's a real quick story. After I deployed XenServer, and I started getting my production customers on there, one got hit with ransomware, and I'm like, oh my God, not again. And so I went back and I reverted using snapshots, and within 28 seconds, these guys were back up and running again, which was truly, I'm like, wow, now we really have something that is fantastic. So moving forward, the other thing is we started using creating virtual firewall appliances, which was really interesting because I actually had, I use mostly sonic walls as our firewalls, and but we had one of our sonic walls die, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to hurry up and get something up and running quickly. And I had tried to, I looked at some open source virtual or firewalls, software firewalls, such as pfSense, and but I found that Untangle was very, very stable running on XenServer. So I was able to basically create a firewall that way, which is, it was more of an experiment, but it turned out to be a long-term thing that's been running probably for 4 years now. And there probably is better options out there, but this is what's working for me right now. Also, I'd like to bring in that Christopher and I were talking the other day, and it's like the ARM-based Xen system, you know, like using a Raspberry Pi running on, you know, and running XenServer on it with a virtual firewall might be a great solution for and a product that could be sold. So anyway, that was very interesting. So basically, this is our cloud topology. It's a pretty simple setup. You know, most of this I've done. I am not a guru with Linux by any means, but I have stumbled my way and figured out how to make all of this work. And so basically, I have several Xen servers, and the Xen servers are all on the same subnet, and so is my storage. Basically, I'm running FreeNAS, a couple FreeNAS systems, one that has 14 terabytes, and the other one's got 4 terabytes. Mostly now I'm using them for replication, and that seems to be working really well to replicate my VMs over to that. And I have several, you know, I have the VMs are on separate subnets depending on what their functions are and what the requirements are. We actually have some that are site-to-site VPNs, and nobody else can get in there except for that particular customer. And currently, right now, we have 4 static IP addresses, and that is how we're delivering the service to customers. Either that's going to be a remote desktop, it's going to be one of the web servers being pushed out there for websites, and then of course the company is located in Hillsboro, but I actually live in California, and I'm able to administrate and manage the entire system remotely, which is really nice. So moving forward here, I better hurry because I'm running out of time. So Xen Hypervisor Benefits. I think it's really wonderful that it's a fast and easy host installation. The operating system uses minimal resources compared to Hyper-V. It's very stable and compatible on compatible hardware to The ability to share resources is also a great thing. That's what I was looking for. Drive spanning options for local storage, which is really nice, and that's in the later features of XenServer and XCP-ng. Virtual machine snapshots, of course, is fantastic. That is a lifesaver. XenServer and XCP-ng Center is a great management tool. I use that typically for everything in the beginning. And of course, the integration with Xen Orchestra, which we will get into here in a little bit. So these are some of the challenges I've had with, and it doesn't matter if it's XenServer or XCP-ng, I've had the same issues with hardware. And a lot of it's been these Intel motherboards. These were Intel servers that were Intel kits, and we purchased like 4 of them, and in hopes that we could use them. But we had issues with the processor going offline, and basically they would go to sleep and just shut the system down. So I had attempts to resolve the offline CPU issues by basically modifying the power functions with C-state and the MNI and the IOMMU. Anyway, did not completely resolve this issue and had to repurpose those servers. But with working with the Xen community, we got really far. I got the system to run for 72 hours rather than 1 hour. So it was getting close, but I had to move forward because the customer wanted their system back. So, but I had a great time trying to learn some stuff here. So, okay, moving forward. The other issues that we would have was the hypervisor black screen on boot. And these were the later versions of XenServer and XCP-ng. I think it was a video driver, depending on the machine, that it just couldn't get past that. It would basically hang after the installation, after a reboot after the installation. But I found a workaround which just SSH into the server, edit the grub file, and basically remove replace the VGA mode and basically make it a text mode. So anyway, I'm gonna move forward here again. So, and this has been a bit of a challenge, especially when you buy, a really expensive Dell server and it's got a really nice PERT controller in it, and we can't use it. And maybe there's some other workarounds. Maybe there's drivers that could be installed in a package somehow, but it was to the point where I had to get things up and running now. We do, like I said, we use FreeNAS for our mass iSCSI target for XenServer, but I started finding out that that running the VMs on the local storage was much more efficient and the performance was faster. But problem is most of the host installations cannot detect the hardware, the RAID hardware. It had to, I think it was an H330 PERT controller, and it did not see any of the drives. And so my workaround was basically to go in and disable the RAID function, convert the disk to JBOD, and during the setup, just span multiple disks for the local SR. Hypervisor 2 terabyte virtual disk limitations. Basically, we had many companies need a lot more on that. need 4 terabytes or more of storage. And basically, I got through this by using software RAIDs on the VM operating system. My example here is I had 4 1 terabyte drives and created a RAID 0, so I ended up with 4 terabytes altogether. Of course, in other operating systems, you can do you can span the virtual disk. Looks like I'm getting short on time, so I'm going to hurry up and get through these other slides. Also, coalescing has been an issue. Too many replications and snapshots of in a short amount of time can cause coalescing problems. These are the methods I used, basically the command line of the SR scan and or rescan the disk via XenServer or rescan the disk in Xen Orchestra, which was actually a nice feature because I could do that all from the Xen Orchestra console. Windows PV drivers for VMs. XenServer legacy drivers are not stable with my experience, and there might be some workarounds, but again, sometimes you just got to get things done. We had customers that had 2003 server, and it would just not take the drivers, or if you did, you end up with a blue screen of death. And also the management agent also would not function, which makes it very difficult to have automated snapshots and replication. So XCP NG drivers in the beginning did not exist much, but I noticed, I'm going to skip up here, the Windows PV drivers. 822 came out last year, and that was a pleasant surprise, and was able to use that. Prior to that, I would just copy over the XenServer guest tools and install it on the XCP NG virtual machines. Many times we were required to convert old servers into virtual, and haven't found an efficient P2V utility. The method that we use is that we use disk to VHD, basically plant that file and share somewhere on the network, and XenServer, we just import that VM and go through the template process and set your processor and storage and so on. And that seems to work. It's very time consuming, but it works. Some of the suggestions I have for the Xen hypervisors, either XenServer or XCP NG, is to expand on RAID controller driver support. Maybe this is something that's already been in place, but back when I was installing all these machines, that was it didn't see them many times. That was a problem. Maybe adding a software RAID option during the setup would be a plus. And of course, you know, as a Windows P2V import utility would be a plus. Also, boot options to change the normal boot to text mode would be also, and that could be during the setup maybe, because you just sometimes you just don't know if it's going to work. And of course, if we ever can get over the 2 terabyte virtual drive limitation, that would be wonderful. So Xen Orchestra has been a great plus to add to XenServer. It's got a really clean web interface. It's mobile friendly. The management of the virtual environment is wonderful. You got the hypervisor console. You have the VM console, and of course the continuous snapshots with the backups is phenomenal. Replication backups to iSCSI NASs or targets and to other Xen hosts is wonderful. Self-service portal, that's pretty cool. I haven't really played with it much, but it's a nice option. Storage management, to be able to clean up your storage is fantastic. And of course, host patching, which is really nice. It automatically just patches your host for you, and which is really necessary if you're going to be running Xen Orchestra. And by the way, I am running the Xen Orchestra open source community version because I need to unlock all of it so I can learn it all. So here's just like a dashboard. It's pretty sweet. We got the VM management console, which is really nice. The VM console, so you can get to the console of that actual VM, restart it, do many things. Same here with the host console. You'll be able to get to your XS console and be able to modify things here and reboot the system. And it's very nice, especially when you're working remotely. And so some of the challenges I've had with Xen Orchestra is basically, and this is a selling point, I'm trying to get customers to buy this into their subscription. But there's like, we need 24/7, we need support. They need somebody they can call when things go down. So that's been a little bit frustrating, but not too bad. Their email support has been wonderful. Yeah, George, you got something?
Well, you're 1 minute over, so maybe you could take a minute just to wrap it up.
Sounds great, man. Yeah.
I haven't said anything happened in my talk, so.
Yeah, sorry about all that. Okay, so these are the challenges I've had. Not a big deal for the most part. It's a wonderful thing. So in conclusion, Xen technology is powerful. I think it's just the most wonderful thing I've ever found. But I'd like to see more this technology come into the small and medium-sized business. And I think with the right marketing and advertising, I think that would we could really get this to a different market besides just the larger companies. So anyway, I'm just going to go to questions and answers, but I think I'm probably too late for all of that. So I guess feel free, if anybody wants to, they could go ahead and email me and my contact information. I guess that's all I got, kids.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. And sorry that we had the technical thing to begin with. So
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I hadn't ran that on my laptop before. So yeah, next time I'll make sure I'm got that taken care of.
Yeah, it's really good to hear. We often don't know, like, it's good to see how the thing is being used. So it's good to see what users think are good points and bad and everything. It's really good to hear your story.
Great. Yeah, hopefully some of it might be helpful. So I guess we're signing out now, huh?